Hello guys, today I'm going to talk about building digital governance experience which I gained from Singapore related to health sector, especially about how the data security and also the compliance they are doing, and especially the lessons I learned during my 5 years of working in Singapore. So mainly why I thought to create this video is I've seen the Sri Lankan new government, they have trying to do new initiative which help to digitize the government sectors and processes. So for that, I've tried to actually I already written a blog about it, my experience, and I would like to discuss summary about my experience in previous videos, like how I've done migration and what other things we consider, we talk about it. But today mainly I would try to focus about the digitization and things I've learned. Maybe this information might help whoever trying to do some initiative, or and whoever trying to think about the architecture and transformation, digital transformation. So mainly I work in the health sector, but in the Singapore they have health cloud, and also G cloud means government cloud. So the health cloud managed by the company I worked, and also the G cloud managed by I think Gautech and also the NCS. So they also have strong policies and also the processes which help to protect the data, especially this is other public data. So you need to be more careful if you are trying to do with the data. So I've seen that the Sri Lankan government initiative, they are getting help from India, and people are talking about, and they are talking about, will that be a secure? So according to my experience, I would like to talk about how you can manage the live environment without interference of developers, and maybe if it is supported by the third party. So when we were doing H cloud, right, we did not have any access to the production. So the production environment purely managed by the H cloud people. So in Sri Lanka, if we are trying to build something like SL cloud or SLH cloud, SLG cloud or anything, so if there's any third party involvement, so they can decide. So whoever doing that third party, they can cut the access, they can restrict it, and then they don't need to worry about the data security. That's the main concern at the moment general public have, and they raise the concern that there is a potential risk of losing data to other country, and future they can use that data against us, and there could be different scenario, and also they can sell that data to a third party, the pharmaceutical companies. And also if they are doing this system, I think they are trying to use some MPOS or something, I can't remember that. They're trying to use that open source software platform, the framework built by the Bill Gates, uh, and with their help as open source, and that Sri Lanka thinking to use that for their digitization initiatives, and and that is very good initiative. So I don't have much experience about it, and I haven't read much article about it, but for this I would like to talk about my experience. So mainly I work with the H cloud, but Singapore they have H cloud and G cloud. G cloud managed by I think the Gautech. And the important things which I've learned the from Singapore experience is the sensitive government data and health data, or any sensitive data, they are giving a very good uh, they have a very good concern about it, and they try to improve the security, and also they have tightened the security environment. For example, if you are working on health sector, there could be a very health sensitive data, like if for example the HIV information. So these kind of a data, what you can do, right? Even the developers, even the people who are managing the network team or whoever, they should not also have access to this system. It's like they wanted to have special privileges even to view the data. Even whoever viewing that data, they are writing a audit logs. So we use dynamic CRM systems. For that they don't have, I'm not sure now also, I haven't seen, but they have very good security module, but we have to use that security module to support, and we have to customize on that special privileges. So we use Normally in the dynamic CRM, what we have a business unit, we have team, we have use access, we can have a different security role. So what we have implemented is we have implemented separate different teams, and even when we are creating a transaction, we are creating a different table, we are writing a different security audit data. So to then they, and we are generating a report for that. So even though it is a kind of, performance right, some it would be, it might reduce the performance, but still they want that. So that is very important, especially like if in the health sector, if you keep very sensitive data like, public figures, and also the government figures like a prime minister, president, or ministers, and also very prestige people, or whoever doing government related things. So these information are very important, because it can, if someone can access that, it could use against them, and also then people will use the trust about this system, and they might say, and they would always, even they can go for the court saying that my data is not protected, anyone can do anything against me. And even they can edit the data or amend the data, and they can say, I mean, there could be some wrong information about you. So it's, that's why they were trying to use uh, very restricted, and also the very good secure environment. For that purpose, they were not ready to use Microsoft Azure or AWS. And what they have built is, they have their own environment. They have a disaster recovery environment, and always they sometimes the secure, like mission critical, like for example hospital system, they have also always own environment. If one system is down, then the other system, other data center and other database, all these copies will automatically switch on, and there won't be any single downtime. It's like a 99.9 system downtime. I think there's a 0.01 percentage, I think, for that. But as I can remember, it was 99.99 downtime. So that's how they manage, and it's based on your system criticality. They have categorized your system criticality, because you need to, if it is a mission critical system, and then you need to, um, it will be very costly. So they need to think about the cost factor as well. If system is down for 1 hour, if there's no impact to the general public, or after office hours, if it is down, if it is no impact, so these things they can manage, but if it is a working hours like 8 to 5 or 8:30 to 5 or 8:30 to 4:30, if it is a working time, then they can use that threshold to manage the system. So something like that they have implemented. So it is very important, these factors, if you are trying to build system for government sector. So one of the project I talk about that, the CRM system. And so then the decision highlights Singapore commitment and maintain control over sensitive data, that is, we already talk about it. So then the benefit of government managed cloud. So that's how Singapore is doing it. The enhanced security, regulatory compliance. The platform are tailored to meet specific government policies, including data residency and the so gently low. So one thing that time they have considered is, they can't have any data center outside the country, like Hong Kong or any other country. It will be a security loss. So then they are not allowing to use any cloud, any public right cloud to use for that purpose, and the complete control. Like let's say Microsoft Azure, you don't have the control. You don't know, even though they are 100% secure, if they are saying, they have that doubt. So anyone can raise a concern. So I mean, so that's, even though Microsoft saying, so that's why they were saying that we have 100%. So then infrastructure wise, the cost wise, you have your concern. Like if it is a Microsoft Azure, they can increase the cost anytime. And if the government do not have money, and also they need to pay from what you call this foreign currency. If government is losing the foreign currency, what they can do? So they might lose access to these servers, and then government cannot function. So it's very important for government, if they're considering the building, or if they're considering doing a digital transformation, how to use this one securely. And also there should not be any dependency with money, anything. So like definitely you need to have electricity and the computer to run, but still if you are dependent with the third party, what would happen if government do not have money to pay in a foreign currency, like what happened in last 2 years, like 2022 and 2023, the government were in the financial crisis. And if they do not have a budget or money to pay, so what would happen? So then they can't do anything simply. So this kind of a thing they need to consider. And avoiding vendor lock-in, yeah, same thing. So private cloud where certain service may be restricted, government managed cloud allow the control list of the old the system if they're secure and cost effective. Yeah, that's basically it. Customize. And also if you can customize. You know, government can develop tailored solution to replace expensive and redundant private cloud service, such as creating an in-house tool. For example, Dynamic CRM. If you are using on-prem, we know that if you are using online, you get new features, thousand of new features. But if you are using on-prem, you can do your in-house development. For example, previously Microsoft was using a data export service, right? They have deprecated that last year, so you can build in-house. You can create a new database. You can sync whenever you are creating a data from Microsoft, sorry, Dynamic CRM to the data export service or whatever. You can create, you can build a solution. So what would happen? You can build your own reporting service, you can create your own report environment, everything you can do it by yourself. I'm talking about mainly Dynamic CRM. It will be for applicable for most of the systems, even if it is a customer system or it's a product based system, whatever. So you will have that I mean you will have that flexibility. You can build your own extensions, you can create your own custom solution. So that is this is very important if anyone thinking about to do any digital transformation, even for the company. If you are building a company or product, you can think about it, but don't but you know sometimes if you have the money, it's easy to use the public cloud data. I know how easy it is rather than managing from on-premise to online. For on-prem, how many things you need to do about it? Let's later we can talk about the things you need to do. So the challenges of government managed cloud: the higher cost, resource intensive. Like government, you need to have a cloud requires substantial investment, hardware, infrastructure, and skilled personnel. Especially the network area, you need very good experienced people to manage this infrastructure. So that is very important before even managing a cloud, managing hosting environment, managing clusters, and always on database administrators, and so many things. Like you need good resources, good skilled people. Running and maintaining this demand expertise, yeah. Security, networking, disaster recovery. The complex operation, critical systems such as the healthcare platform require minimum downtime. This necessitates robust disaster recovery setup and careful management of the update and mitigation, migration. So yeah, slower innovation. The private cloud provider often lead to adopting a cutting edge technology. Government cloud may lag in the comparison, require additional resource to stay. Yeah, so mainly you don't get the latest updates. So what the Sri Lanka can learn from Singapore? So the Sri Lanka plan its digital government initiative, thereby the value lesson from the Singapore approach. So yeah, this data security must be priority. This number one, we talk about it. Balance development and MAJ with the development and management. While the third party companies can be engaged to develop the system, the government should retain the ownership. So basically you can outsource. Government can't do anything. I mean they can if they're trying to do everything, right, they will be in trouble. But the important thing is how you are going to manage it. Maybe you might need to have a different regulator body or different regulator authority which will manage the third party company, and you will have still the access. The avoid scenario where companies charge extraordinary the small changes for post. Yeah, like let's say you done the system, you have a budget. Based on that budget, you have given the contract to the third party company. They build the system. After that, if you need change request, it's always happen, right? You need some changes, but the third party company, they can charge extraordinary prices, like, so there should be some controls with the contract, and all these things need to be considered. And building internal expertise, so government must invest skilled personnel, including project managers, solution architect, business, to oversee the digital process. And without this expertise, the project risks falling. Yeah. So even though you are paying for working with the third party, they have this expert. Government also should think about have some expert, like we were talking about authority, so they can monitor, they can make sure that project will not fail, and they will implement the required changes. And without, some companies, they only thing is they wanted to deliver and make, and they get the money, that's it. But you need to make sure that they are doing with the latest technology, and it should be it should be able to support the latest upgrades. Like if there's any security vulnerabilities, they should the product they are using, for example, if they are using React or Angular or whatever, so they should be getting a security patches for this. Like you can have like jQuery version or JavaScript version or Angular version. They maybe if someone find out there's a security vulnerability on these versions, then we should be able to do the upgrade and fix that vulnerability. So these are very important, because if your versions are not up to date, so then it's very hard to do the upgrade. So these are very important to analyze which technology we are going to use and how we are going to use it, and these risk factors. So that's why you need expert who knows about these things, and it will be very important who are going, if they are planning to do anything, use technology to combat the corruption. The transparent system with the robust and audit trail can reduce the opportunity for corruption and improve the public trust. Yeah, that is very important. Whatever the system you build, try to build a audit scenario, and whoever asks the question, and like media can write reports about it, and people can question about it, and court will ask reports. Should the system should be able to provide these things to whoever, because it's a government system, and no one should able to do any corruption or anything which public or which will break the public trust or which will break the law. Always try to be the compass. That's why the people, the government always trying to use the product like Microsoft Dynamics CRM, SharePoint, so recommended product. So this product, they know that they can make sure that it's very hard to do this. It's has inbuilt compliance. So my experience in Singapore taught me that successful digital governance require balance of security, control, scalability. While private cloud solution have the advantage, government managed infrastructure ensure the long-term sovereignty and the compliance, particularly on the sensitive sector like healthcare. Sri Lanka journey towards digital government must prioritize secure system, skilled personnel, and efficient process. The goal should be able to build a system that not only serve public effectively but also to provide transparency and accountability. So that's important. Ensure the taxpayer money is spent wise. So this is very important. We need to make sure that if government is spending money, it's taxpayers money, so we are getting the output. So we should not be doing for sake of doing the system and like saying that it's a digital transformation, should not be. So public should get the benefit, so they should see that. So the government need to make sure that the whoever trying to do this initiative will meet that requirement. The digital government is more important than the technology. It's about creating a system that improve the lives while safeguarding the public trust. So it's very important to consider these factors, and especially building a processes, building authorities, and learn from other countries like India, Singapore, UK, China. Also get the help from expert, the consultants, and would help more. Now Sri Lanka is getting help from India, so that is very good. So that help will, because they already learned the lessons, so you don't need to go in the same path again. You know the things they learn in a hard way, so then you can use that experience from other countries or consultant or whoever. They will charge you, but even though they are charging, you don't need to go in the same route again and do the same mistake. So you can learn from the mistake which others already learned, and you can implement that before making any mistake. So that is very important if you are building, and if you are doing something like this digital transformation. So and also the other factor I wanted to mention about is like, there would be the government, they might have some dependency, or contractual dependency, or with the previous government or fee with contract. So it need to be very careful with that, whatever they have done before. But even though they have some commitment with the third party companies or third party contract, I think it's better to revisit those things and make sure build a policy framework for the government digital governance. So that would help uh, to have a very nice uh, system, and get the real benefit for publics. So that's very important to think about it. Yeah, those are the things I learned. So that's it for today's video. Have a good day. Bye.